Welcome to the Renegade Lawyer Podcast, the show where we ask the questions, why aren't more lawyers living flourishing lives and inspiring others? And can you really get wealthy while doing only the work you love with people you like? Many lawyers are. Get ready to hear from your host, Ben Glass, the founder of the law firm Ben Glass Law in Fairfax, Virginia, and Great Legal Marketing, an organization that helps good people succeed by coaching, inspiring, and supporting law firm owners. Join us for today's conversation.
This is a different conference than any other conference that you've been to, because for most lawyers, the conferences that we go to are put on by state bar associations. They're put on by CLE groups, and they're designed to teach us how to be better lawyers, right? And if you're like me, and you have a state bar CLE deadline on October 31st, you haven't started any of your 12 hours for the year. And so you end up going and attending all these sessions that you don't care about, that aren't going to impact your practice at all. And so what do? We sit down and we open up the computer and we stay on our email and we stay on our Slack with our teams and we stay in our CRM and we draft motions and we get back and forth with clients. Please don't do that while you're here. You're wasting your money and you're wasting your time and your travel dollars if you're doing that while you're here. So number one thing to do while you're here, put the devices away, put the phones down. We will teach you how to have the kind of a team that can tolerate you being phone-free Thursday afternoon and all day Friday. If you're not there yet, we'll get you there. And step number one is to just start. They will figure it out, I promise you. Step number two, open up your mind. Don't automatically reject ideas. Chad talked about this just a little bit. You're going to hear things from the stage that you'll think, that won't work in my practice area. That won't work in my state. My state bar, if you're in Florida, and the ethics guidelines and with the advertising, they're not going to let me do this, right? Okay. That's what 99% of lawyers think when we hear new ideas. Lawyers are trained to spot problems. We're trained to say why things don't work. It starts in law school, it continues through our exams in law school, and it continues through the bar exam, which is an issue spotter exam. Here's a paragraph, find all the problems, right? All right, in here we're finding all the solutions. So rather than going to why an idea won't work from the stage, let's find a way around it and find a reason that it would. Number three, be curious. Be curious, and if you're an introvert like me, introduce yourself to other people. Find somebody that you've never met before, and I would challenge you, when you come back into the room after the first break, don't sit down in the same spot. Don't sit down with the people you came with. Don't sit down with the people in your mastermind group, okay? You guys have just spent 2 days together. You know all each other's problems. You've solved most of them. We have opportunities to go back to. It's time to move on and solve some other people's problems, make some other friends, make some other possible referral relationships, idea relationships while you're here. Talk to every vendor who's out here in the hallway. Make sure that they get a good experience. I don't care if you don't wear suits. Go talk to the suit guy. See what you can learn about his process. Ben and I 2 weeks ago, we were in Orlando at Funnel Hacking Live. And everybody has asked me, what does that teach you about your personal injury practice? What have you learned there that you're going to apply to the personal injury practice? Almost nothing. Almost nothing, right? But I picked up a little bit about YouTube. I picked up a lot about creating Instagram shorts and reels, and how everything should be hook, story, offer. So I learned a little bit there, but I learned a hell of a lot about the sales process from watching how other people sell their products. Nobody in that space talked about legal. Nobody in that space talked about car accidents. Nobody in that space talked about insurance. You can learn all of the ancillary things about how we sell. And how, you want to hack? Sign up for everybody's email list, right? Give every one of these vendors, give them your card. And you will notice that some of them have really compelling email copy that they send you once a week, twice a week, over and over. Some of them you're going to unsubscribe to really quickly because the email sucks, okay? You're going to learn then what we do in our practices and how we take the stuff that's good and apply it and storytelling-wise in your own emails and in your own newsletters. Number four, we begin and end on time. We're going to try to end on time. We absolutely will always begin on time. So thank you, everybody, for being in the room right at 1 o'clock and for having a seat on time. That helps us keep the trains running on schedule. You will miss something important if you're out in the hallway at 1:05, so please be on time. That's me. All right, why are GLM members different? Anybody else go to TBI Med Legal out in San Diego in January? Okay, cool. So I was at this big conference, a brain injury conference in San Diego, and it was put on by the California State Bar, and it was a wonderful education in how to handle brain injury cases. They had a marketing track. Nobody attended the marketing track. There might have been 1,000 lawyers in the room. They had this huge schedule, 16 rooms running at the same time. Go to whatever you want to go to. Nobody went to the marketing stuff. My friends Bill Hauser and Andy Stickle were out there. There were probably 30 people in the room anytime I poked my head in. What did I learn from that? Everybody's trying to compete on being a better lawyer. Nobody is trying to compete on running a better process, running better marketing, right? We're throwing dollars at advertisers often, but we're not solving the problem of what happens when they call. How come our conversion rates suck? What is my intake team doing? Why aren't they following the scripts? Nobody else in our industry is trying to solve for that. And so I ended up talking to a lawyer, an older lawyer, who complained to me that it's not fair because he goes home and it used to be that you could just do good work and the work would come to you, right? And it's not fair that all these young lawyers, me, have jumped up past him, have better cases than him, or getting better results than him, because we're taking advantage of marketing and processes and all of the stuff outside of legal. So I want to challenge you to not be like that guy. Find the blue ocean. Find the stuff that nobody else is paying attention to. And that's what makes GLM members different. We know that being a better lawyer is rarely ever a differentiator. Who cares if you were the best estate planning lawyer in your city? The client is never going to know. And that is not permission to be a bad lawyer. It's not permission to do a less than A+ job on a client's file. But clients are comparing their experience with your law firm not on how good was the product, because they don't know. They're comparing with how good was the process. Because they know when I go to a doctor's office and I sit in the waiting room for 15 minutes and then I sit in the office for 30 minutes before somebody comes in, that's not a good process, right? Don't care if he's the top orthopedic surgeon in the state. You have no way of judging that. You have every way of judging how the experience with your law firm is. And so that's what GLM members, the most successful GLM members, focus on optimizing for. It leads to better Google reviews. It leads to client cases moving faster. It leads to happier teams because the team isn't dealing with, how come Brian made me wait for 45 minutes before he came in and talked to me? All right? They don't care about the next 1-2% on the result. They care about how you made them feel during the process. And that is what I think GLM members are really focusing on at the top end. How can you waste your next few days here? I don't know, it probably costs you $2,500 to $4,000 to be here between ticket, plane, hotel food ain't cheap. We're gonna go to a nice Disney Springs restaurant, probably one night, right? If you're here with your spouse, we're going on. Very expensive trip. You can waste your time by doing all the things that we talked about in the beginning, by being on your computer, by not connecting with new people, by not being open to new opportunities. The way to make this pay for itself is to find one new person who'll send you a referral case in the next year. Connect with one person who's in a different state with you, who can send you the auto accident case from New Hampshire, right? That's the way to optimize your time here and to make the most out of your days. The other thing I would caution you against, and I've done it before, like, don't hang out in the bar tonight till 11:30, okay? Get a good night's sleep, show up on time, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and spend your time before dinner or after dinner, before you go down to the bar, with your journal and go through, okay, I took 15 pages of notes today. What are the top 3 to 4 to 5 things that I can circle that when I go back to my office on Monday, I can start working on having my team implement, all right? My goal when I go to any conference is to come away with 3 ideas that I can then offload to somebody else. If I go to 24 hours of planning and I come back with 3 ideas, I'm happy. I would love for you to have more than that, but it's difficult to implement more than 3 things. And so I would suggest to you spending some time at the end of every day or the morning after going through your notes, taking I put them in brackets. I put the most important stuff in brackets, and then I pull it down to my to-do list afterwards. Start prioritizing that now before you get back to the office. Do it before you get on the plane. What happens when we show back up on Monday? We have all the client emails that we didn't answer while we're here. We have all the phone calls we need to return back. And we have staff that has 150 questions because we weren't here Thursday and Friday, okay? Optimize that stuff before you get back to the office.
If you like what you just heard on the Renegade Lawyer podcast, you may be a perfect fit for the great legal marketing community. Law firm owners across the country are becoming heroes to their families and icons in their communities. They've gone renegade by rejecting the status quo of the legal profession so they can deliver high-quality legal services coupled with top-notch customer service to clients who pay, stay, and refer. Learn more at greatlegalmarketing.com. That's greatlegalmarketing.com.